Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to showcase my entire Alfred Hitchcock collection. I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan and I have most of his movies, but I want to show all the movies that I do have. And a couple of years ago, Turner Classic Movies, in association with a university, did a class on Alfred Hitchcock that I took. It was a great class. It had extra videos, lots of extra information. And so I really learned a lot. I was familiar with Hitchcock's more popular works like Psycho and Rear Window, Vertigo, things like that, but I hadn't really studied his entire filmography. So it was great to see the films there. So I picked up a lot of his films over the years and some other resources that I'll show today. I'm not going to really go through a lot of extra features. I'm just going to show the movies that I have, and they will not be in the order other than these are films from his early career and then when he had more popular films out, and then his later career. So hopefully that's okay. If you have a favorite Hitchcock film, let me know in the comments below, or certainly ask a question. At the end of the video, I'll tell you my top 3 Hitchcock films, but I'm just going to show these for the time being. So this collection I've shown on an earlier video. This is some early films from Hitchcock, and this collection is from Mill Creek. The quality may not be the best for these, but I wanted to have these in my collection. And again, you can see there are 20 films all listed on the back. If you want to freeze frame, you can see these. Some of these I've picked up in other formats, including the Criterion Collection, which I'm going to show next. From the Criterion Collection, I have The Lady Vanishes, which is a great early film from Hitchcock. There's the extra features on the back there. Criterion does great releases of Hitchcock films, really of all films, but in particular, lots of extra features on these Hitchcock movies. The next one is The 39 Steps. Again, I've seen all of these, but I'm showing you this particular one is sealed, but I have seen it already. Lots of extra features there. So the next one is The Man Who Knew Too Much with Peter Lorre, an early performance from Peter Lorre. Great film, and of course there was a remake done with Jimmy Stewart. Foreign Correspondent, a great early Hitchcock film as well. Lots of extra features. There are a couple from the Criterion Collection that I don't have. One is The Lodger, which is an earlier silent film from Hitchcock. I don't have that one. Rebecca, one of my favorites, with Olivier and Joan Fontaine. Look at all the extra features there. Again, I'm not going to read through all these today. And then Notorious with Ingrid Bergman, Cary Grant, Claude Rains. Classic Hitchcock right here. Obviously, all of Hitchcock films, very suspenseful, very stylized. From what I understand of Hitchcock, he was very good at making storyboards and having the story all ready. So many times, at least the way he describes it, making the film was rather boring because he'd already done it in his head already. And so it was more a question of getting the scenes exactly how he had planned them all in his mind. This next one is Strangers on a Train, one of my favorite Hitchcock films, also very suspenseful. Great characterizations in this one. Some special features on this release from Warner Archive. I've mentioned these in my Warner Archive haul video, which I'll link in the comments below. This is The Wrong Man with Henry Fonda. Suspicion with Cary Grant and Joan Fontaine. Lesser known Hitchcock films, but also very good. I Confess. And the Kino Lorber release of Lifeboat, which I may have mentioned in a previous video too. Hitchcock made an appearance in all of his films, and you really have to look for him in some cases. And this one, all the characters on our lifeboat throughout the movie, so Hitchcock makes a very unique appearance in this movie. So let me know if you've seen Lifeboat, and you can even leave in the comments below where he makes an appearance, if you like. The next thing I'm going to show, there were a couple of box sets that came out on Hitchcock, and I got one of the earlier ones. There's another one, I think, with the, I'm not exactly sure of the details, but it had some extra features on it, and but it was basically all of the films represented in this box set. And I'll just show the front, the side, and the back of it. This is an amazing box set. If you don't have this and you're a Hitchcock fan, you need to pick it up. And I think it's still available, or like I said, I think there's another release of this with some extra features that you can find on Amazon or other locations. But I'm just going to open this up and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. So you have this, which is pretty much the cover art from the back, and then this, and then all of the movies themselves are, I'll show you each one here, are included in these little sleeves, and you can see some of what I'm assuming would be lobby cards in the front there, are just duplications of what would be lobby cards. So that's Saboteur, which is an early film. Again, these go pretty much in order, I believe. Shadow of a Doubt, which is a great movie. Very suspenseful. Rope, also great movie. Jimmy Stewart. Rear Window. Not going to reveal my favorites just now, but The Trouble with Harry. Sorry for the glare here. The Man Who Knew Too Much. Again, there were two versions of this. There's an earlier version, and this is the later version with Jimmy Stewart. Vertigo. North by Northwest. Psycho, of course, a classic. There's a remake of Psycho, but I didn't like it. Let me know if you like the remake of Psycho. I don't think it was a shot-for-shot remake by Gus Van Sant, and I didn't really like it. The original version's a classic. It's hard to remake a classic film like that. The Birds. Marnie, getting into the later films now. And Torn Curtain. And Topaz. And Frenzy. And finally, Family Plot. Okay, so this is a great collection to have. It also comes with a book, Master of Suspense, of course. And the book really has some details on each of the films. You can see a little bit of detail there, some additional artwork. So this is a great set to pick up. And again, if you're Hitchcock, even if you're new to Hitchcock, this would be the set I would recommend picking up, even before the Criterion Collection editions of some of the films, just to get familiar with his work, and you may be familiar with some of the titles in there. Finally, I'm just going to show some supplemental materials that I have. And one of the supplemental materials I have is this Hitchcock-Truffaut conversation. This has lots of bonus features on it as well. But this is basically Hitchcock and Truffaut talking together, and it's quite insightful, and highly recommend picking this up. This is a Universal release. And then this is really the definitive, it even says it on it, so you know what it's a definitive guide, right? Study of Alfred Hitchcock by Truffaut. And here's the front and the back of that. It's hard to... And then inside, there's all the conversations and just the different insights between the two men. Really, really interesting book to get. This is still available, to my knowledge, but it's kind of a Q&A format here, basically transcribing their conversations. So I highly recommend picking that up. This is another interesting movie with Anthony Hopkins portraying Alfred Hitchcock. Not the best movie, but I did like it as another way to get some insight into Hitchcock himself. And with that, I'm going to let you know my favorite Hitchcock movies, my top 3 favorite in order. It's, with favorites, they change over the years, but I'll tell you my top 3 right now. Number 3 would be Notorious, which is just an amazing film, especially the Criterion Collection release of it. It really gives lots of insight into the making of the film and just the classic nature of it. Very suspenseful. Ingrid Bergman is great. Cary Grant. Just an amazing film. Number 2 for me would be Vertigo. And Vertigo I know is number 1 on many lists, but Vertigo I really enjoy. I recently watched, I believe a couple of months ago, and I can rewatch that movie over and over again and still find new things in it. But Jimmy Stewart is just amazing in that movie, and I just love the story, especially Jimmy Stewart when he's driving around San Francisco, and there's so many great things about that movie. And my number one favorite Hitchcock movie, at least today, is Rear Window. Rear Window is, I believe, just a masterpiece, and they apparently built an entire set for Hitchcock to work on for Rear Window. And Jimmy Stewart is amazing. The performances are great. It just gives you that sense of suspense that Hitchcock was so famous for. So many great things about the movie. I could watch that movie over and over again, any day of the week. So those are my top three. What are your top three Hitchcock films if you're a fan of Hitchcock? Let me know in the comments below what your top movies would be. And if you have any other thoughts on Hitchcock, any questions, anything that that maybe I can answer for you. I'm not an expert in Hitchcock or anything, but I am a huge fan of his work, and I'm hoping to complete the collection. There's a few films I do not have that I would like to pick up, including the Criterion Collection edition of The Lodger, which I do not have right now. So thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. And please, if you like this video, click on like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll know when I upload a new video. I hope everyone is safe and well, and I'll see you next time.